more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
I mean, when it rains, not only does it get wet, it pours and people drowns because the Democrat Party is going deeper and deeper. I mean, this party's going to end up not in the center of the earth. It's going to punch straight through to the other side. They're going so low because now, recently, as of today, it has just exploded across the internet that Ilhan Omar's net worth has ballooned up to $30 million. Now, this comes on the heels after the Minnesota Somali Congresswoman. She's a congresswoman in the U.S., but she, in previous videos, have stated that her priorities is Somali first, and that her job in Washington is to get the Americans to do anything that Somalians want. Now, this woman runs around here. She's a left-wing radical Somalian based out of Minnesota with Tampon Tim, who runs around doing all this gallivanting and uproaring about whether it be gun violence, transgender rights, child body mutilation. But now, she not only is caught up in this scandal that has exposed the fact that how is it that a Congress member, a congressional woman on $174,000 a year salary that is not from America, that has never owned a business, has no product or services, has a net worth that has ballooned up since she's been in Congress to $30 million. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about it. And then I'm going to show you evidence and proof of the bullcrap scandal that the mainstream media refused to cover throughout the country. Did you know? Are you aware of the $250 million fraud scandal that happened in Minnesota? And you know why I just said, I just made a mistake and I said that word. But by the time you see that video, that word will be bleeped out. But a $250 million scandal, and Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, and the rest of those, a few of those Somali politicians and local business people are wrapped up in it. As a matter of fact, one person has already been sentenced to prison. His name is Saeed. So allegedly, and I say alleged, even though there's reports all over the place that Ilhan, matter of fact, let me just show you better than I can tell you. So let's look at this report here. Ilhan Omar challenges people to dig into her financial records, immediately regrets it. Now, she runs around and she wants to tell America what America should do with these type of pow rights and how we should treat our transgenders. But let's dig into what goes on where she's from, because she talks so negatively about America. She always has something negative to say about America and its people, but yet she fled her country to come here. So in her country, which is Somalia, let's look at what happens to people of transgender or LGBTQ in her home country. So right here it says, okay, and this is Human Dignity Trust site. Somalia criminalizes same-sex sexual activity between men and between women. Sentences include a maximum penalty of death. There is some evidence of the law being enforced in recent years, and LGBT people are regularly subjected to discrimination and violence. So she fled Somalia to come to America to tell America how brutal we are, how wrong we are. No transgenders or LGBTQs are being executed in America. Nobody's being beaten and thrown in jail for what their sexual preference is in America. But we got this Somalian running over here telling us what's good and what's bad. And I can't stand this lady, not because she's from Somalia, not because of the way she talks, even though that annoys me too, but it's because the propaganda and the negative, evil crap she spews here, knowing that same way she talks here, if she would have done it in her country, they probably would have sliced her head off. But here in America, the so-called fascist and horrible country, the country is so bad that you can stand and publicly insult the president on national television and nothing happens. Besides, you might get a mean post on X back or what used to be a tweet from them. While in her country, just by kissing someone of the same sex or falling in love with someone from the same sex or doing the do with them, you may end up unalived. See, this is the hypocrisy of the Democrats. That's just one example I'm showing you. So the next time you ever hear this woman speaking anything about our country, don't allow yourself to get upset. Realize that's grandstanding because you've just seen the truth of where she fled from, where she ran from, while over here getting fat up to $30 million, talking down on our country, insulting white people, Christians, and all of that. And she hides behind the fact of her brown skin. But she don't associate with Black Americans. Ideologically, and even in her missions, what she does is she uses people of color as her pawns in her game. But her true only loyalty and allegiance is to Somalians. Now, I want you to hear and check out when Fox News has to say about the investigation that was done into her, and the fact that this woman over here talking down on America, but she doesn't talk up about the fact that she married her brother to be able to be in this country legally and lied about it. How disgusting is that, to be married to your brother to gain citizenship? And not just like soon as she got it, they separated. No, they didn't separate until the backlash got so loud that they just had to do something. Check this clip out right here. Now, I'm not sure if y'all familiar with Trish Reagan. This is when Trish was on Fox News. Trish now has a really good podcast on YouTube. So if you ever get a chance, you can check out the Trish Reagan show. She's really good. Always throwing a plug, you know.
After hearing all that, I guess, is there any wonder that people question Ilhan Omar's motives, her ethics? Certainly they're being questioned tonight, because we can report the New York Post says that the FBI is looking into allegations that the Somali-born Congresswoman married her brother in order to score him a green card. If so, that would actually fit the definition of fraud, now wouldn't it? The far-left Democrats, they say that she has what you could call a complicated marital history. You see, Omar appeared to be married, happily married, in the Muslim faith, not legally though. She had 2 children with someone for nearly a decade before she legally went out and then married the man alleged to be her brother. 2 years later, she quote unquote separates from the guy who's supposed to allegedly be her brother, but she never actually divorces him, right? They stay legally married. Keep in mind, if she did divorce him, then, well, he would have been sent packing, right? So much for that green card. Now, some reports claim that Ilhan Omar was still this whole time romantically involved with the father of her children, the man she was, married to religiously. They even had a 3rd child together, while she's supposedly legally married to the guy who may be her brother. I know.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash app or for a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it really does help spread and get the information out there. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're subscribed already or you're subscribing now, make sure that when you hit the notifications that you select all, because YouTube has been having an issue with the notifications. But when you hit notification and you select all, YouTube will make sure you get notified the next time I upload new video. See? So FBI was even investigating this woman doing that. And here's what they found. They could not confirm or deny, because somehow the family birth records, the family records for Ilhan Omar and the alleged brother, even him and his, because he's supposedly, if he's not her brother, he's had to have his own family. But guess what? They couldn't find their records either. I guess over there in Somalia, nobody keeps any birth records. But yeah, when they were doing the green card thing and the marriage thing, records were easy to find. But you know what? Last few years, they couldn't find them. And so anybody saying that that's propaganda or that's just a Trump about her marrying her brother, no, it's not. Because the lamestream media tried to say that, oh, President Trump throwing propaganda. No, he is not. The FBI even investigated this woman for it. You see, I don't just throw stuff out there either. I want to bring you the truth behind it. So now, knowing that that's being done, they're investigating this lady left and right. She then couldn't keep her nose clean. Remember that the scandal I told you out there in Minnesota? $250 million. Well, she was tied to that too. 2 men named in Feeding Our Future fraud investigation donated to Ilhan Omar in 2021. The Congresswoman says she recently sent the contributions to food shelves. Omar sponsored legislation that expanded federal food aid programs during the pandemic. She now has asked U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack to investigate allegations they've been abused for personal profit. As a matter of fact, I can show you the headlines that's even bigger and bolder than that, which lets you know about the $250 million. Let me take here. The $250 million scam that happened in Minnesota. Minnesota schemers allegedly swindled $250 million in largest pandemic fraud yet. 47 people have been charged in the astonishing display of deceit over providing food for low-income children. Now, remember now, Ilhan Omar, contributions, food shelves. Now, this is a congressional member. And some of these people have already been sentenced to prison. And guess what? There's video. And I'm not going to even bother you right now putting that in. There's video of Ilhan Omar and these men hanging out. They're showing records of Ilhan Omar sending and bringing these men food and serving them. You mean to tell me she didn't have anything to do or know about the $250 million scandal? Tim Walz, the governor of the state, didn't have any information, any knowledge about it? Or are they just so smart that they keep themselves so disconnected and make sure they tell the people, hey, listen, whatever happens with y'all, just keep me out of it so I can always keep taking care of y'all. Allegedly, all alleged, but it's not alleged that there was $250 million scandal. It's not alleged that it happened in Tim Walz State. It's not alleged that he knows about it now. It's not alleged that Ilhan Omar knows these men that were involved in this scam, in this scandal. And out there in Minnesota right now, there's another radical left-wing extremist, self-proclaimed socialist that is running for a Senate seat or congressional seat there in Minnesota. So this lady is a full-on problem in the US. Now, I want you to listen to this interview she did and how she just directly, just what her opinions are on Americans in America. And the reason why I'm showing you this is not because I can't stand this woman, but you have to hear out of her mouth, not what the media is telling you, so that you know we have to do everything we can to beat people like this back. Check this clip out of her running her mouth and doing what she does best, which is slander in the West. Check this out.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people, because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
No, she's just not used to the fact that in America, we can speak. We have freedom of speech. The place that she fled, ran away from like a track star to come over here and build her wealth up so she can ship it back over there, or the scandals and the scams that other Somalians allegedly and other politicians pulled off, robbing the American citizens of $250 million. And this woman has the nerve to talk about intelligence. No, what she thinks is intelligence is letting transgenders and LGBTQs have everything in the world they want, and everybody else shut up. Letting children get their body mutilated, but her home country of Somalia, she's not lobbying for it over there. Matter of fact, we already saw what happens to anybody that even represents that in her country. But she wants to talk about ignorance in America. Well, what does she consider her home country? Animals? Neanderthals? Because last time I checked in America, we're not doing diabolical things like unaliving people because of who they lay down with. But in her home country that she ran away, that she fled, that she abandoned, to come here, she has the nerve. Now, she was on CNN, and the CNN host brought up that situation that just happened in Minnesota, where the mentally ill trans, she was a woman that thought she was a man, mental illness part number one, that always wanted to harm little people. That's mental illness number two. It even has a video where she named her clips and all of this crap and all of that. That is a mental illness being radicalized by left-wing extremists like Ilhan Omar. But check out how the CNN host tries to call it out like, hey, listen, why are y'all not wanting to really confront this trans thing? And look at what she spins and pivots into. Then when we come back, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Check this video out right here of her spewing this BS. And then I'm going to come back and just tear it down. Check this out.
Congresswoman, you just heard Sebastian Gorka zeroing in on the fact that the shooter was transgender. What is your reaction to what he said and what is echoed by so many in the Trump administration?
I mean, it's really unfortunate that we have people, like him speaking on this. At one moment he talks about the fact that the evil, murderous person who took two angels from us and harmed our community for a really long time. He talked about their transgenderness, and then he says that shouldn't really matter. At one moment, he attacks you for fake news in addressing actual statistics. Another moment, he talks about needing, mental health support, making sure communities have threat assessment. You point out that DHS has taken away those resources in our communities, don't have that kind of support. And then he screams at you and says it's not the responsibility of the federal government to assist the states. These people are all over the place because they want to deflect from the reality, which is that there was someone who came in to that school through the window and assassinated two beautiful angels as they prayed and put 14 other children in the hospital who are still fighting for their lives. And it is important for us to make sure that we are offering a slew of solutions. One is to make sure that we are getting rid of assault weapons in our community. Two, that we are addressing mental health issues if there are some. And yes, as a community, it is important for us to say something when we see something, when somebody is exhibiting signs that there could be a problem ahead, that we talk to them, that we get them the assistance they need, and that yes, we do alert law enforcement. But this is not the moment to point fingers at people. It is time for us to come together and figure out what the actual solutions are so that there are no more dead angels in our communities.
Every time that there's something that happens and it doesn't favor the left, the very first thing they love to say is, we shouldn't publicize this, we shouldn't politicize this, we shouldn't politicize this. But and then they want to call for weapons. I didn't hear anybody calling for any weapon control when President Trump, when that was an attempt on President Trump's life. Not one Democrat had anything to say about it at that time. Not one. And the fact of the matter is, we all know if this had been a Trump supporter of any kind, if they could have tied this to Republicans, Trump of any kind, we know they would have done it. Now, if you notice, and also these pow-pows and pew-pew things are happening by people. The last two, as far as that involved Catholic schools and little children, were both trans that had been taking those medications, which nobody knows what's in that. And if you notice something, go back and really look at the history of the government, whether it was ran by the demon rats or even rhino Republicans in the past, whether it be like George W. Bush, they're rhinos. But really pay attention to the fact that this whole thing, this whole alignment, as far as on whenever the government says they want to attack them, remember the war on drugs. What happened with drugs? It got worse. The war on gangs, what happened? It got worse. War on homelessness, it gets worse. Whenever the government says there's a war on something, I truly believe their focus is the exact opposite. It's like this whole mental health thing. Over the last few years, we've seen the biggest push on mental health we've ever seen. And we've seen more deranged acts and more deranged people than ever before. I myself believe that something is being done to these people. They're being radicalized through their medication. That's these Ivy League left-wing extremist doctors that are screaming this mental health thing. And let's also remember that weapons don't harm anyone. I've got several, and I've not had any of them let loose, unload, or do anything without any human interaction. And so to keep saying that it's the assault, it's the assault weapon, or it's this, that, and the other, is BS propaganda. And why is it that the left wants us to lay down our weapons so bad? I believe you and I both know why. So it could be exactly what happened in her home state of Minnesota during 2020. If you've ever seen the clip, there's a clip of people that were standing on their porch in Minnesota and the sun was going down. And you had this militia group, government, police, the Gestapo, like the Gestapo, coming down the street telling people to go inside. They couldn't stand on their porch. Now, this is during the summer of love of 2020. Forcing people to go inside. Man, one family just stood there. They literally shot the family's house up with bean bullets or rubber bullets from unloaded on the house.
No, there's more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light them up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in. Get in.
Oh, God, that hurt. You good?
Are you okay?
Right on the fucking crotch.
Are you okay? You got hit?
I'm good. They're fucked for that, dude. What?
Okay.
To force that family back inside. Now, that was in 2020. That was just that little confrontation. Now, what happens when your government turns tyrannical and there is no weapons? The criminals is just one aspect. The weapons of protection from our founding fathers were put there to protect us against our government. So what happens when the government turns tyrannical? How do we safeguard against that? That's why I will always be in support of the right to bear arms. Weapons don't kill people. It's stupid mother effers with the weapons that take people's lives.